Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Clarkstown Police Department promotional ceremony and the welcoming of our new officers. I want to welcome each and every one of the family members here today that are here supporting their loved ones who are either joining our police department or being promoted. I'd ask everyone to please stand, and at this point we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to have Emma Lachette, one of the children of Officer Ray Lachette, who's going to come up and lead us in the pledge.
Everybody can join it. Ready?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody, how you doing? I'm Sergeant Robinson here with the Clarkstown Police Department. Thank you for coming to our ceremony here where we recognize some folks being promoted as well as some new hires to the department. So first off, just want to thank some people who are in attendance today. First off, Supervisor George Holman, Councilman Frank Borelli, Peter Bradley, Donald Franchino, and Patrick Carroll, Police Chief Ray McCullough, as well as PBA board members, newly elected President Pete Walker, Secretary Chris Robinson, and Sergeant at Arms Drescher. As well as Jim Monahan, Stony Point Supervisor. Also want to recognize here past President of the PBA, Ray Lachette, brother of newly promoted Sergeant Alice Lachette. So what we're going to do here today is we are going to go through the promotional first, and then we're going to introduce the new hires. So first off, I'd like to call up newly promoted Detective Sergeant Jerry O'Connor. Jerry's going to be pinned by his son, Christopher. Next up, we have newly promoted Sergeant Christian Cortelli. Chris here is being pinned by his daughters Emma and Catherine. Next up will be Sergeant Alice Lachette, pinned by her daughter, Emma. So next up, we're going to move to the newly hired members of the Clarkstown Police Department, and here I'm going to read a little something about them to let those in the community know who's going to be working with their local PD. First off, we're going to have Thomas O'Connell. Thomas, come on up. Thomas grew up in Pearl River with his parents, Richard and Mary, two siblings, Sean and Carolyn. He attended Nanuet High School, graduating in 2007. After high school, Tom received a BS in Business Management from Dominican College, graduating in 2011. Most recently, Tom's been a police officer with the NYPD, assigned to the 5-2 precinct in the Bronx for the last 4 years. While serving in the NYPD, Tom was member of the 5-2 precinct's Midnight Anti-Crime Team, now lives in West Nyack with his wife of 5 years, Ashley, and his children, Liam, Harper, and Rory. Pinning Thomas tonight will be his wife, Ashley. Next up, we're going to have Arthur Noldekin. Come on up. Arthur was born in Suffern to his late father, Arthur, and mother, Deborah. Grew up in Washingtonville, where he graduated from Washingtonville High School in 2011. Later attended Maritime College, where he graduated with a BS in International Transportation and Trade. In 2011, Arthur joined the NYPD, starting his career in the 4-6 precinct, working in patrol and street narcotics. In 2014, Arthur went undercover with the NYPD Organized Crime and Control Bureau, assigned to Manhattan North Narcotics, where he was promoted to detective. He continued in this capacity until being hired by Clarkstown PD. Arthur has been a resident of Congress since 2013, where he lives with his wife, Anna, and 2 children, Hunter and Harper. Pinning Arthur tonight is his sister, Ashley, and his son. Yes. Yep. Next up, we're going to have... Next up, Frank Vos. Frank. Frank has a bit of a crowd here. Grew up in Congress with his parents, Frank and Patricia, and his brother, Christopher. He attended Clarkstown schools, graduating from Clarkstown North in 2010. After high school, attended RCC, graduating in 2012 with an Associate's in Criminal Justice, ultimately earning his bachelor's in criminology from SUNY Cortland, where he also played D3 football. Most recently, Frank has been an NYPD officer in the South Bronx for the past 2.5 years, working in the 4-2 precinct. Working in the community, Frank was a Boy Scout with Troop 29 out of Congress for 7 years, where he ultimately reached the rank of Eagle Scout. Frank also volunteered with the Congress Fire Department for 4 years. Frank still lives in Congress with his parents and brother, and he's being pinned today by his parents, Frank and Patricia.
What's doing that?
Next up, we have Joseph Fiorio. Joseph was born and grew up in Clarkstown with parents Frank and Maria and 2 brothers, Frank and Nick. Joe graduated Clarkstown South in 2010. After high school, attended Fordham University and graduated in 2014 with a BS in Business Administration with a concentration in Information Systems. In September of 2014, he attended the Orange County Police Academy and has been a police officer with the town of Woodbury PD for the past 3 years. Joseph is also an EMT and has been awarded multiple life-saving awards. Pinning Joseph's shield is his mother, Maria. Next up, we're going to have Joseph Salamone. Joe is a resident of Rockland County, currently residing in Nanuet with his fiancee, Christy. He attended Monroe Woodbury High School, graduating in 2005, then received an associate's degree in criminal justice at RCC. Upon graduation, Joe would go on to receive his bachelor's at Mercy College, graduating summa cum laude. Post-college, Joseph joined the NYPD in 2015, being assigned to the 6th Precinct in Greenwich Village. Today, Joe's shield is being pinned on by his mother, Jerry. Lastly, we have Robert Stapleton. Robert grew up in West Nyack and currently lives in New City with his wife, Emily. He graduated from Albertus Magnus in 2005. After high school, Robert earned a bachelor's in history from the College of Holy Cross. In 2012, Robert joined the NYPD. During his time with the NYPD, Robert was assigned to the Counterterrorism Critical Response Command. As a lifelong resident of Clarkstown, Robert volunteered with the West Nyack Fire Department for 14 years. Pinning Robert's shield today is his wife, Emily. Before we get to the closing remarks, just one more hand for all the promotionals and the new hires. That's going to be it for me. I'm going to hand it over for closing remarks, first to Supervisor George Homan.
Isn't this just a wonderful, wonderful evening? And I can tell you, as supervisor, it's probably the highlight of my time as town supervisor over these last just over 2 years. And I want to congratulate all of our new officers and our those that are newly promoted, and let's give them a round of applause. You know, none of these candidates, officers, come to this event tonight or come to our department alone. They come with the love and the support of their families and their friends that have been there with them from day one, following them every step of the way. And I think we want to recognize all the families. We want to thank you for all that you've done to help these men and this young lady up here to attain what they've attained so far in their law enforcement career. So we want to thank the families for loaning them to us. And again, I want to thank the members of the town board. The current town board, and this is great, it's a great show of sign of unity and support for our police department. The entire town board, all 5 of us are here. to show our support for the police department and for all of our new candidates. So I want to thank the town board for all of their support, and the past town board as well. The members that are not here that approved the hirings last year, Councilwoman Hausner, Councilwoman Hausner, Councilman Noto, and Councilman Caprera. Let's congratulate and thank the town board. You know, Clarkstown, as you well know, is a really wonderful community to live in and work and raise a family. Despite the fact that we are the 14th largest town in all of New York State with a population of just about 88,000 people, Clarkstown is still a very tightly knit community with a lot of small town characteristics. We live within a stone's throw of the capital of the world, New York City, and that brings a lot of unique challenges to us as a community. Clarkstown is really a unique place to call home because it really can feel like a small place, but the people here think and really dream big. And the ability to do those things, to think and dream big, only happens in an environment where people are safe to do so, to dream and to think big. The individuals who are entering our police force tonight, as well as those who are moving up in our ranks, make it possible for the people of Clarkstown to think big, to dream big, and to be safe, and to thrive. I want to take a moment again just to applaud all of these individuals because they're really adding to the ranks of a tremendous police department. We want to recognize their prior service as they come to us. To our new officers, I welcome you. And I won't dance around it. The expectations here are extraordinarily high in Clarkstown. The people of Clarkstown demand exceptional standards in all of our officials, but especially in our police department. They expect a speedy response time when a call is made for help, whether it's after an accident on our roads, a medical emergency, when it strikes close to home, or when their property is violated or their rights are invaded. They expect that our police will be there in a moment's notice. They expect compassion and professionalism. They expect bravery and intelligence and courage. In short, they expect exceptional police work, and they expect exceptional people to provide this level of service. Thankfully, we know that each and every one of you are exceptional people. You may be new to Clarkstown, but you're not new to law enforcement. 5 of you served in the NYPD and 1 of you in the Sheriff's Department. You scored the highest on the civil service test, and you made it through probably the most intensive screening process of any of the police departments here in the region to start your career here now in Clarkstown. And we look to you to uphold and extend this tremendous tradition of support and exceptionalism that our residents have come to expect. To our 3 new sergeants who have been upholding that standard all the while, who are now moving up in the ranks, we congratulate you. We congratulate you on your exceptional police work throughout the years, and we look forward to what your careers will hold in the future. As your supervisor, and speaking on behalf of the entire town board who are here tonight, I want to say that we are so proud of you and that we will always support you, and we respect the work that you do. But there's one last piece of advice that I want to offer to you as you all embark upon your careers or as you redouble your efforts as you continue your career. This advice was once given to me by the late Cardinal John O'Connor, the Archbishop of New York, who served from 1984 to 2000 in that role. The Cardinal often spoke and offered this advice every time that he ordained new priests to serve in the Archdiocese. There were simple thoughts, 3 simple thoughts or words of advice that he would offer to his newly ordained priest. He would often end his remarks and ask and expected that these priests would heed these remarks as they embarked upon their career of service to the people. The words, I said, were simple and I think very applicable to this evening. Cardinal O'Connor would turn to the newly ordained and simply say, first, be good to the people. Next, be good to the people. And finally, be good to the people. Allow me the opportunity to welcome you on behalf of the entire town board and on behalf of all of our residents to this service in the town of Clarkstown. I ask that you not only be exceptional, but that you first be good to the people. Next, be good to the people. And finally, be good to the people. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Ray McCullough from the Clarkstown Police, and I'd like to thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone here tonight, but most importantly, I want to welcome the families of our new officers to the Clarkstown Police Department family. We have the best department because we have the best people. We always take care of our own, and we want to make sure that you know that. I also want to thank Supervisor Holman, Councilman Borelli, Franchino, Carroll, and Bradley for their continued support of our department. Without them, none of this would be possible. Thank you. Our 6 new officers are the first officers I've had the pleasure of hiring since becoming police chief. So you guys better make me look good, all right? Thank you. But seriously, I was very impressed with these officers during the interview process on which I sat in. And so far, the word around the building is that they're all getting on very well. This is a small place. You guys better get used to that. People talk. So, and looking at you 6, I would not be surprised in a few years if one or several of you are up here again for your promotion ceremony. So good luck to you in the future, and I know you guys are going to do a great job. Thank you. And to the newly promoted sergeants and detective sergeant, these are people that I've chosen to continue leading this department in the right direction. Sergeants Cortelli, Lachette, and Detective Sergeant O'Connor will be supervisors that I will rely upon to ensure that my directives and vision is being carried out up to our standards, which are the most professional as possible. I say to you that we've been given the task of protecting and serving the great community of Clarkstown. This is something we do not take lightly. So I ask that you come in every day with the intent to keep our community safe. Our residents expect it, deserve it, and we demand it. So again, welcome to the CPD family, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bring all you up.
You're lucky for that. Can't tell that.